email should be agenda.
Yes.
I mean,
Hi guys. Hello. We're not yet calling the meeting to order, but we are live on Zoom and live stream on YouTube. So some people who are on the board want to fill in closer. Okay. Obviously, we're not starting. We don't have forum. Joy and Will. Yes.
Okay.
Well, unless,
Yeah.
but in terms of the
RCP.
we're good. And so also. Yeah. I mean, it's a. And then Michael, thank you for coming. So these are
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I know this was close to your heart. So don't break it.
Only because I think it improves our opportunities to have meetings.
But it's moved.
But it's close, yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
I do, Sarah's not long, I did it.
Yeah, the only thing is,
Hey, thanks.
is it available for long?
This is the Unnc meeting this week, you know, so that's, yes. Well, the next meeting will be able to vote on this.
I mean, in other words, I said everybody has to let me know.
You can use
There's a color falling bigger. Okay, when I'm trying to talk to those 5 of you or 4 of you who are on Zoom, can you indicate by raising your real hand or your digital hand that if you can hear me? Okay, so we haven't called the meeting to order yet. Okay. Okay, so we don't yet quite have quorum, so we're not starting. Although welcome to our guests, and we're certainly waiting for our president as well. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
Yes.
Sure.
Somebody walking actually stop, turn around, dump, order phone. No, right on, she has like a policy unit, right. Picked it up on the rig, and so my son, got it, I said, I can take it over.
Yeah.
She said the weirdest thing that she has walking here. So what do you think? Can we do our committee announcements?
No, we have quorum. Guys and gals, we do have a quorum, but we don't have our president. What do y'all think?
We're gonna call the meeting to order, everybody. I am really scared, Laura's our vice president, and we need to get started, because some people have to leave, so let's go ahead and get started.
Right, because what we can do, hi Eric,
Hello.
obviously I can do the roll, we can do, thank you. We can approve the agenda, so I, Laura Myers, Vice President of UNNC, will call this meeting to order, and I will call the roll. I will create a space here for me to color. Grace, you here. Dennis, absent. Kareem? Here. Teresa? Here. Michael Kimbrough? Chris Carlson? Diana Cooper? Not yet here. She said she would be. Christopher Reed?
Weed, yep.
Oh, there you are. I didn't mean Reed. I just
All good.
misspoke.
Get it all done.
So sorry. Dolores Spears? Uriel?
Yep.
Jasmine is absent. Candace? Did I see Candace walk? Candace? Candace is here. Laura Myers is here. Michael Soderstrom is here. Ed Saunders. Paula is not yet here. Sho King is absent. And Sarah Long Henry is here. Okay, so at the moment, we do have quorum. And what I would like to do is share the agenda. So the item on the agenda is review and approval of the agenda, but I will scroll through the entire agenda. You'll note that we have this out of the usual order, in large part because we want to make sure we achieve some vote while we still have quorum. So the item 3 will be to appoint one candidate to fill a vacant seat on the UNNC board. Next will be the celebration of service. Bad grammar. Recognition of or for
John Arnold, Greg Jackson, Paul King, and Lizzie Moore with Sato. Then we will have our general public comments and announcements. We may end up flipping that order if Paula is not yet here. Then we will have government agency reports and comments. Those listed may or may not all be present. Then we will have the treasurer's report, and we'll be needing to vote on our monthly expenditure report, board member reimbursements, and if we need to do budget adjustments. Then we will do funding requests. We have 2. Then many of these items are left over from the October board meeting where we didn't achieve quorum. So that's why we have so many items. Proposed community impact statements, 2 of them. Back to executive committee reports. We'll be discussing SB 411. We'll be discussing our other vacancies resulting from some resignations. The secretary's report, approve the minutes. My report, attendance and training. Then committee reports, outreach committee updates. Planning and zoning does have an action item, and whatever follow-up to previous cases. The environmental committee has a recommendation about, well, in today's other times it was called zombie trees, although it was referring to a forest, but we have some too. We have a recommendation to establish a re-establish a standalone tree committee, other committee reports. And if we get to it, if we are able to, if we have enough people still here, appoint committee chairs and co-chairs, any old business, and then adjourn. So that is the review of our agenda. And Paula Southern, our president, is here, and soon we'll take over the gavel, but should I keep going?
You think we're?
We did.
Okay.
We're now on item 3.
Oh,
So that's, I'm saying, should I keep going?
keep going.
Okay. There we go. Alliance. Alliance says yes. Committee chairs.
I didn't even put that truce.
Yes.
Move to approve the agenda.
Okay, Teresa has her hand raised.
I'd like to amend the agenda to bring forth number.
And way at the end.
At the end.
Way at the end. Number 12.
Number 12, just for one appointment, if we could do that shortly after.
Yes.
The other, right, we have 16. We have 16.
We don't.
Oh, then.
No, budget applicants only needs a pure majority. We're
Oh,
good.
okay.
We're good on quorum for budget applicants.
Okay.
Do you need a second? But I think we can.
Okay.
They move the agenda around.
Okay.
Anything to get it done. Okay, because I don't think,
Okay,
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
we don't even need to do that. Yeah, Dunn has informed us we can't actually vote on agendas because they're already published.
Oh, all right.
So we can just move things around.
Perfect.
Okay, number 3, appoint candidates, which is a single candidate to fill vacant seats on the governing board. And I'm going to stop this share, introduce Hunter, who's going to start talking about himself and very quickly, 1 minute, who you are and why you want to be on the UNC board, and I will share the screen with his application.
Hi, everybody. My name is Hunter Reeves. I've been a resident of Harvard Heights for the past 3+ years. I'm interested in being an at-large member of the UNC board. I've, in the past 3 years, seen so many improvements with just my vicinity, just my close neighborhood. I think there's so much more we can do. I would love to be a part of that. I professionally is an Emmy-winning award, Emmy-winning video producer, excuse me. Don't say that enough. And I run social accounts for Disney and E! News and Entertainment Tonight. So I'd love to help with any outreach programs, any communications programs.
We got our rules. Wait, somebody got my job? Communication, which is.
Okay, so Grace moves to appoint Hunter Reese to the governing board. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, Muriel seconds. I think we do need a BAC
Yes.
and a roll call. And I guess you guys don't, you've already read his application in the agenda packet, or could do so after the fact. I'm stopping the share. Paula, just tell me when it is you're gonna start sharing, but let's take this vote.
Yeah, after this.
Sorry.
All right, Noriel,
Aye.
Dolores. Candace,
Aye.
Laura,
Laura?
Oh, yes, I.
Michael, Thurston, Edward,
Aye.
I am an I, I'm yes, Paula,
Oh, yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Corinne,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Michael Kimbrough.
You got a sign?
Chris,
No.
okay, Christopher Weed,
Yes.
and that's it. Motion passes.
So where we are is now back to the celebration of our,
Oh, how wonderful.
that's where we are.
And of course.
Oh, and I have from Eric. Chris, can you pass this to Paula?
Oh, okay.
Eric presented since.
Yes.
Huh, you?
Yeah, that's why I just assumed we didn't talk about it.
All right, so we have 4 members that have left our board that we deeply love and appreciate. And of course, you know, I don't have the statistics here, so I'm gonna ask. We had John Arnold. John, how long were you on the board?
16 years.
16. And we have Paul King.
So I can't say that I was on the board for 16 years, but it was 2, and maybe I'll come back and try to do it.
No, like 16. We have Greg Jackson, our former president, who could not be with us this evening. Lizzie Moromisato.
Well, my tenure with the Unnc was between 8 and 9, because I was first appointed and then I had to run for my position.
Okay.
And then
And so we have some certificates of appreciation.
We do have some certificates. If I was strong enough, I would have framed. So I apologize for that part, but what I will do is, if you want me to go back and frame them, no problem at all, I'll surely do that.
that would be lovely.
Sure. But on behalf of the Councilwoman Heather for Council District 10 and the City of Los Angeles, in recognition of her exceptional service to United Neighborhood Council, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
You can see,
Yeah.
and your unprecedented commitment to civic engagement is unmatched.
Yes.
Your tireless efforts and outstanding contributions have not only enriched Council District 10, but also has left an incredible mark on the lives of those you serve. So with that being said, thank you for your years of service, your dedication to the City of Los Angeles, specifically Council District 10, and it is our hope you still find a way to be civically engaged. So thank you so much, truly, truly appreciate it. Yeah.
For our website, can we get each one?
Yeah, each one is coming. John?
With the back,
With the back?
with the beautiful
John?
back.
Just have a
Set up a shirt. Quite cool. This side, this side.
Go to back.
See, you try to go back.
Like, bring it aside.
Oh,
All right.
Thank you, everybody. I miss you, but I love my schedule.
Take care.
Paul King, can you move?
Give Paul a round of applause too.
Get that name.
Yeah.
Lizzie Moro Misako?
Come on.
I can do it now. Lizzie,
Okay.
Lizzie, you teaching at Washington High School?
yeah, Washington Prep. Yes. I needed to, now I'm volunteering in districts.
And how's it going?
And I'm also working on my teacher credential, so it's more work after work.
Yeah.
My own work, my own classes,
Right.
my own homework.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, so you guys, one of the things is we need to remember that the Zoom is only gonna pick up a voice, and otherwise it's
Oh, right.
not capturing.
All right, the next thing on our agenda is public comments, announcements, items not on the agenda.
And we have some people in the Zoom
Okay,
who are here for public comment.
okay.
So if you're on Zoom and want to make a public comment, now is the time to raise your hand.
Okay, there's one, Rebecca.
And you're muted.
You gotta unmute. Okay, you gotta hear Rebecca now.
Hi, good evening. My name is Rebecca Henice. I'm the principal at City Language Immersion Charter. And last time you met, the CEO of our organization was here to talk about a death that happened to one of our community members on the crosswalk right at 6th Street and Pico. Sorry, 6th Street and Venice. And I'm here to ask the council. I would really love to work with you and collaborate on finding a way to get a crosswalk for our school to just make the pedestrian crossing safer for the neighbors in the neighborhood.
All right, thank you. And then we have Kathleen, tuck her hand up. You have to unmute.
Good evening, everybody. I live over here in the region number 5, and I'm chiming in on behalf of our Jefferson Park neighborhood watch. Would like to invite, I believe it's Diana Cooper and Christopher Weed, from Region 5 to our next meeting on November 14th at the Asana Academy on Jefferson. I can provide any additional information if that is making sense. It's the first time I've chimed in with you guys, so hopefully I've gotten the names right.
Thank you very much, Kathleen.
And you did.
Yes, you did get the names right, and that's what we do as representatives of particular areas. We try to work with the local associations, and in your case, the neighborhood watch group.
May I say something?
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, to acknowledge that I have been receiving your emails. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yep.
I'm Diana Cooper. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to coordinate with Christopher to see if maybe we can alternate the meetings, because that is one of my in-office work days in the Valley and Woodland Hills, and I don't get off until 6, and you guys start at 5:30. So it takes about an hour to get there, so I'm going to try and see if on the days that I can schedule to come in, I'll just leave a little earlier to see if I can make your meetings.
Great, we look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Is there anyone else?
We have Tracy still, raise your hand digitally.
No, that's my hand. That's this hand here.
Ask her if she could put her email in the chat,
Ask
her contact.
Ask Rebecca or ask
Kathleen, Kathleen, could you please put your email, your contact, email in the chat, please?
I'll do that, yeah.
And also you, Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca, you do the same.
Public safety.
All right, is there anyone else?
With general public comment.
All right. I got a suggestion, and that is, I purchased a cake as a part of the celebration, and I want our celebrants to go ahead and have a piece of cake now if you would
Should we
like.
take a photo of the cake?
Yes. What did you say?
Yes.
You guys don't want to name them.
Because we don't want them to have to sit through more meetings.
I love that that's okay, that's like, it's wrong.
Okay, while they are getting the cake, we have our agency reports. Eric, is there anything else you need to report for CD10?
I know Danielle, she was working on some items. Unfortunately, she is a little ill at this particular moment. So I wasn't able to get brief in regards to the standing projects that is happening with Danielle. I do want to follow up in regards to the yellow curb that you all wanted outside front of the building. Was there any opportunity to speak with the residents in regards to what they would like or recommend in regards to that portion of it?
The building manager, Letty, said that the senior citizens who live here they do not use the bus to
Okay.
get around.
Okay.
So I didn't know we were gonna talk about that because I would invite her, I'm not sure if she's still here, but for
Okay.
her to come in and discuss that with you.
Okay.
Right. And I also spoke to the executive director, and one of the
Okay.
things they're trying to figure out is maybe creating what they do use is, well, not Uber, but different kinds of ride share.
Yeah, like access.
Yeah, exactly, and I was
Okay.
thinking about trying to get a space on the Wilton side, because that's the
Okay.
entrance that the residents use.
Okay, so not here on
Not,
Washington, but here on Wilton.
right, but that may just be a not
What's
loading, but
15 feet?
yeah, I mean, in other words,
Okay.
but they are talking about it, and we have talked to
Okay.
them about.
Okay, well, please, of course, keep our office posted in regards to that. There is an event taking place this weekend, Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. And it'll be taking place on Adams Boulevard between Thurman and Carmona. So it's a large stretch. And there will be an altar there, so if any of you want to come out and celebrate and pay homage to some of your ancestors in regards to thanking them for the path they created, I encourage you to show up and participate with that. The event is 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it'll be happening all day. Of course, there'll be food trucks, carnival rides, speakers, dancers. Can I use the word entertainers? Is that like safe? Just checking. Performances. We'll use the word performance. So there will be some performance taking place. I do believe I sent the flyer out. Did some of you get it? Did you not get it? Okay, so if you could circulate that, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'll hang around for a little bit. My son is at Paul Revere right now because they had a Dia de los Muertos event at their school. And I think today kicks it off. So I need to run, pick him up, but I'm gonna sit around for a little bit just in case any questions may arise. I'll be sitting right here.
Hey, family.
So thank you as always. Thank you. Where you from first?
It's a photo here right here. Thank you.
Alright, this for me, SB 49 was passed, and it was approved by the city council. So that means.
Wait, excuse me, you can't hear.
So the bill SB 411, it was passed and it was approved by the city council already. So that means that you guys can actually vote on if you want to meet on Zoom. So there is a requirement that 2/3 of the board needs to approve it, and that you would have to state the reason why you want to meet via Zoom. Right now, the department is recommending that you guys do use the platform Zoom and not Google Meets. We still haven't got given guidance on how you should direct the reason why. It can either be through a CIS statement or a letter to your council member.
What was that again about the council member?
So one of the requirements for you to meet via Zoom is that you have to state the reason why you want to meet via Zoom.
Yeah.
So you have to, for that, you would either have to do a meeting text statement on the council file to approve SB 411, or write a letter to your council member. On the reason why you want to.
I see.
Yeah, so we still have to give guidance on that, so just wait till your next meeting. If you want to, but.
Oh, thank you, Alfonso. So that's if we just wanted to meet exclusively on Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have to also ask if we wanted our standing committees to meet exclusively on Zoom?
Yeah.
Or the standing committees and the governing board?
Yeah, you have to state, if the governing board wants to meet via Zoom or your committees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, if we want to continue hybrid, but just allow board members to meet in person or on Zoom, we just explain why.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now,
It's not for.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's.
well, I'm just going to clarify for everybody, we do not have a supermajority 2/3 tonight, so we can't vote. Even if we wanted to not wait for their guidance, we still can't vote.
Yeah, that's good.
If I understand it correctly, we can essentially set on any combination of, like, we would have 3 meetings in person and the rest virtual, like, and essentially we could develop it with a minimum of 1 in person.
Yeah, that's correct. So I know that some of that board, your council, they want to meet like once a quarter in person. It just really depends on what you guys decide. The only requirement is that you meet once in person, and that during your Zoom meetings that you have your camera on. That's my understanding.
Have our camera.
Yeah, on Zoom.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
My comment was more or less what he was saying. You were mentioning that there is an exclusivity of either all Zoom or all in person, or any combination thereof.
So like the combination you have right now, like teleconferencing, you wanna have to do anything, right? You can all meet in person and then have it via Zoom, so that doesn't require any changes. So if you want some board members to either use on Zoom and some to be in person, that would be your decision, right?
So it would be possible to set a baseline of in-person meetings over the calendar year with the option of having per person Zoom availability without penalization.
I don't really understand.
So in other words,
A hybrid.
right now, we need 23 people, where our method is 23 in-person people. It could also be any combination thereof with a minimum of 6 or 8 in-person meetings per member per year. And more than that, it
Maybe even less than that.
well, I'm just saying, but it would be up to us to have the decision on what that combination is. We would have to.
But we have to have a minimum of 1 meeting per year, fully in person.
Yeah, so everyone would have to be here.
That's a baseline.
Yeah, that's the baseline.
That's non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's according to SB 4. So you would have to have at least 1 meeting once a year, and everyone in person.
Okay, so whatever we decide on, that's the way it has to be. It's not we can't switch up back and forth.
So, that's actually a good question. So, like, let's say if you decide to vote on it, and whatever decision you make is like, okay, we're gonna meet twice in person, then you would have to see, like, let's say you're gonna be on the first, right, you're gonna push up, like, let's say, like July, and then, let's say in March. So those 2 months you would have to be in person, right? You said that you have it under your calendar. Yeah.
Clarification about our Robert's Rules of Orders and 2/3 majority. Why is it a 2/3 majority of the entire versus?
You guys updated the bylaws, Grace.
Okay,
Right.
two different things. SB 411 specifically said, the state law, 2/3 supermajority. Within our bylaws, there's certain things that require 2/3. It does appear as if we should question that and open the bylaw, but not tonight.
Okay, got it.
So that's a pretty,
That's
separate, right?
It's SB 411,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, but
Does
SB
that
411.
supersede our bylaws?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
Not that, yes.
take it.
Okay, guys.
I'm sorry.
Hello. I'm not the parliamentarian, but we do need to keep in mind the Zoom. So talk to the Zoom and talk one at a time.
Is that it for the questions for speaking? Alright, and then the next thing I wanna share is that we're gonna have a winter 2023 youth conference.
Oh.
So in January, it's gonna be at City Hall, and there's gonna be civic workshops, department presentations, youth focused services, and a resource fair. So that's all on our website right now under Civic Youth. And if you know anyone interested, I believe the ages is 16 through 18. That's the current issue. But
Not about that, I have another question.
go ahead.
So we had our NC conference, and from that conference, there was a lot of questions regarding the information that was given to us in the workshops.
Okay.
And the acting executive director, where she's permanent now?
She's interim.
She's still interim?
Yeah, and that's
She's, I had suggested to her that maybe, that Dunn could come up with some sort of a format to respond to the questions that were brought up in the conference. And she said she was gonna look into it. So did that go in the round file, or is she working on it?
If you want, you can send me an email, and then let her know. Have a way with your suggestion.
Okay.
I can follow up with her.
Okay, thank you.
That's it for me.
All right, thank you. Do you have anyone from the Office of City Commonwealth? All right, moving on, anyone from Holly Mitchell's office? Isaac Bryan's office?
I'm not from Isaac Bryan. State.
Okay. Please introduce yourself and go ahead.
Well, you know, good evening. I'm Assemblymember Reggie Jones Sawyer.
Oh,
I
that's what
represent-
you're from.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
I work in tandem with Isaac Bryan on a lot of things, and I wanted to come and give you kind of a briefing of what we're coming up in the next year, because we're getting ready for January for budgets and legislation. And I'm from this neighborhood. I grew up at 1835 South Wooden Place. My bike was stolen at 1835. It's seared in my brain to this day. Used to play touch football with my cousins on 18th Street in Wilton, and used to my grandmother before she passed away. There's a house we owned at 1808 South Wilton Place, and at 1625 is an apartment that my uncle Jefferson Thomas, who was one of the Little Rock Nine, when the 9 kids integrated Central High School in 1957. And that's when we all came out here after the Klan chased us out of Arkansas. 24th Street, Mount Vernon, LA. It's not
Yeah.
So I'm from this, I used to ride Arlington doubles when there used to be a double. For those who remember, explain to the ones They smoothed it out. Used to be a lot of fun riding your bikes up and down that Harvard Travel. And my mother is at 1835, Ruth Jones Sawyer, helped start this organization when it first started. So I'm really committed to continue the legacy. She's sick, she has a myriad of illnesses, but she always talked about this neighborhood council. And the fact that you do things that others don't do. And she, when I told her I was coming, she had surgery today. But when she told her I was coming, she just wanted to make sure that I do remember her, that she said hi. And she appreciates, because some of you still call and take care of it, because this is a neighborhood that takes care of everyone. I was going to talk to you about two things. One was about reparations. I was going to talk to you about some other things. But recently, because I now live in Lafayette Square, at the foot of Lafayette Square, when I came home last night, someone had painted an anti-Semitic sign in my neighborhood. In South LA, South Central LA, we normally don't have that. But things have gotten so bad. And as I'm talking to the Jewish caucus, Latino caucus, HBI caucus, LGBTQ caucus, and the African, and I'm former president of Black caucus, we've noticed an uptick in people not being sensitive to other people. And so we're gonna have to reinvigorate our efforts to protect people from people who are not tolerant of other people. Because it is starting to get a little out of hand, not only on the world stage, but I never thought it would come down to our level. And it's starting to seep into our level. And we are from multicultural communities that get along. In fact, it's probably the example that others should learn how we get along and how we work together. The other thing is, I'm working on reparations. And what I'm doing is going through explaining reparations because we're going to start coming up with some budgetary and legislative ideas on how we can correct racism that permeated through a lot of African American homes and reverse that racism. The first report was 400 pages, which identified why California was complicit in racism here in California. The second report is 1,200 pages, and if you want to read, you have some time. It lays out about 112 different recommendations on how we can do that. That's education, criminal justice system, housing, wealth gap, just about everything you could think of in California that has been inhibiting people of color from being able to move forward. The great thing about what we're doing, because I sat on the task force for the last 2 years, if we're able to go ahead and get reparations done, if you're a woman, if you're Latino, if you're Native Americans, API, you can take that blueprint and get your own reparations. A blueprint for everybody to make this society more equal. And of course, it should start in California. As you all know, anything good that happens in this country starts here in California. And so next year, you'll start to see some of those bills, but before we do that, I would love to get input, especially from a variety of people like this club, this organization, to be able to give me some ideas of what they believe we can do to make California more just and deserving. And all our ears are open. We'll do a little bit of listening tours, but come January 1, there will be some budget things going through and some legislative. But I found that, and I'm an elected official and I used to work for the city for 25 years, the best ideas do not come from us. It comes from you. The best ideas we've ever gotten on this task force have come from people. Like, we're going to close 10 prisons in the next 10 years. I'm going to probably save $1.5 billion. The prison population is going down from 165 down to 95. Most, like 95% of them have not recidivated, redone crimes again. That's $252 million in savings to you taxpayers. I don't have to raise your taxes. We're going to take that money and put it back to boys' clubs, girls' clubs, into midnight basketball, into programs for schools with kids that experience trauma. Kids in Washington Prep that see some things that people in Afghanistan and Iraq see that, but they don't get any mental health at all, and they have to deal with it. But they're only like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. and then they can come into that too. We need to end that, and we can do that without raising your taxes more than anything else. So we're gonna try to bring a lot of those programs back in, and we hope we can make that happen. So that's kind of what I've had, and obviously introduce myself to those who don't know me, and I'm also running for Council District 10.
Right.
So,
How can we get?
oh, and the last thing, the budget, pay your taxes, because we're trying to figure out how much money we have for next year. It looks like we might be short, but we don't really know. They've extended, as you all know, they extended it till October, and they extended it again to November. We need to figure out what those receipts are so that we can do our budget. So hopefully we don't extend it again. Hopefully we get everybody to go ahead and pay their state taxes.
How do we get our suggestions to you?
I parked in her Weston the third has his cards, and he now works for me, and he can make sure you get that. It's really important that you get it to us as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because we're formulating bills right now, to move forward with that.
All right.
And any idea, there's no bad idea, any idea of reparations is worth it. I think, Ms. Myers can handle it.
No, we're gossiping.
Oh,
Not really gossiping, we're trying to organize this meeting.
Organizing.
okay. So any other questions, any other bills that you want in the state, whether it's Isaac Ryan or myself or Lola Small with Waivers, please let us know. We're very powerful in that we can get things done. Look, there's 120 people that make laws for 40 million people. I'm one of them. So be careful what you tell them, because it might become a law.
All right, we've got to keep moving.
Yeah,
No, was there a question?
The two documents you're talking about, where could that be?
It's on the Department of Justice website. We'll get you the email for that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you
And
so
thank you for
much.
listening.
Next, following that wonderful presentation, we have our own candidates.
Right, and then
Treasurer's report.
And Paul, we, before you got here, also agreed to move up, the vote for a budget advocate. So candidates are going down that.
Okay.
It's agenda item, the last one.
Okay.
Moves up.
Go ahead, Candace.
Okay, so,
I gotta make, I mean, I can.
Wait.
But I'm sure this.
Candace. No, I have, do you? Doesn't help. Okay. You're up. You're up. So, if you can look at it there. Or you can look at it there. Yes. This one, a bit short.
All right, so we are. So for this treasurer's report, we're gonna go over our monthly expenditure report for September. October's not available yet. And we're also gonna go over it because the last time we didn't get a chance to actually approve a VAC port. And just also kind of in advance, I'm about to do like a treasurer submitting, kind of dump within the next week because there are a couple of things we need VACs for before I submit them. So, if you're waiting on a reimbursement, that's probably why. So we can get all that stuff done, and within the next week, I'll be submitting all of those things. So, for the month of September,
Just keep telling me when to know.
oh, okay. So I feel like So I feel like it makes more sense just to start with the expenditures.
Okay.
And for September, we have the money that we share through our neighborhood program grants. So the money that we gave West Adams Avenues for our booth, the Friends of Jefferson Library for the movies in the park, Amazing Grace Conservatory for their event that they had,
We also paid for our public storage unit, and those were the expenses from September. So we started the month with $38,839.34. And in the month of September, we spent $3,239. So we have $35,600 left to spend. And that's what we did in September. October's not available yet, because I'm on the website and looking, and it's not there.
Yes, it won't be available till the
It won't be available until the 5th. So we'll go over that report at the next meeting.
That's it. We
That's
just
it.
do a motion now to approve the monthly expenditure report. Or ask for questions.
So, yeah, any questions, or we're gonna vote to approve this?
Oh, yes. So also, everyone who has done food, because I also have not reimbursed myself, because there was
That's the
something.
next agenda item.
Oh.
I just have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
The booth rental, 1,500?
Yes.
For 3 days.
For 3 days.
For 3 days?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm just curious.
And we have good outreach there.
But I mean.
Gotcha. Got a chance to meet with a bunch of folks. So it was a good.
Just curious.
Candace had a good time. And then she danced in the rain.
It was good. It was good, yeah.
Is that, what event are you referring to?
The West Adams Jazz Festival that we did in September.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve the monthly expenditure report.
A second.
Who second? Michael? Okay. So we're gonna call for the vote. All in, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because this is, yeah. All right, so.
Uriel,
Aye.
Dolores.
What we doing? Treasurer's report, so September. Just cutting up.
Hunter, I know you're not able to vote yet, but I see your name, Hunter. Candace,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
I'm a yes, Paula,
Yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Kareem,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes. To talk about that.
Michael, you, sorry,
C, Michael Hughes.
sorry, Chris,
Yes.
Carlton,
Yes.
Diana, you said you,
Yes, I'm legal now.
okay, because I heard you weren't, so I don't get to the.
Laura, can you give us an update from Diane Cooper?
We're good.
No.
Yes, I can. I'm done. I sent it to you, you probably didn't get it yet.
You sent it tonight?
Mm-hmm, I sent it before I came to you. To you
Wow.
and Paula.
Okay, I'm gonna look on my email.
So you're a yes,
Can't we just move along?
yes,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yes.
thank you, motion passes.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Candace.
So wait, I think you have to.
We have 2 more items, except I think we only have 1.
Reimbursements?
All the
or-
reimbursements.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are
Is that under
individual.
funding request?
No, that's right there.
It's not in the
Treasurer's
okay.
report.
It was on the agenda, so I didn't know.
Okay, so go on.
This is for reimbursements for people who bought food. So I just want to make sure, because I got the process clarified on how to submit it, because it wasn't fully clear. So, including myself, if you bought food, I need receipts and I have to have your physical address and they're going to mail you a check.
With interest?
Huh? I wish, yeah, no. So, yeah, so before I leave, I know Diana for sure, I know that you emailed me, I have to do my
Well,
own
we
stuff.
voted on Diana, I believe, 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
We voted on it, but you didn't have her address, but we
I
don't
did-
need to,
so
but we
we're,
don't need to vote again.
yeah, okay, so I'm trying to, I think we approved yours the last.
You still need my address?
No, we have,
I think I have yours.
but we have not voted on my.
Oh, we haven't, oh, right, because we didn't have
no
quorum. Right, so I knew we had some kind of backup stuff, so I just want to make sure everybody who's owed reimbursement for food, we get those VACs done so I can do all my submitting done.
Candace, do we have the dollar amount for Michael? I'd like to make a motion to reimburse Michael Pembroke for the dinner he provided October, and the dollar amount is,
Email to me, hold on.
On 60-ish.
She has, you say up to 200?
Up to 200.
I think in the past, we've had to have exact,
yeah,
I think we've had to have exact amounts on the BAC, but
Hold
I.
on, email to me.
We have, she says we have to have the exact.
No, I said I think that we did in the past.
I've given it to her before.
Yeah,
I
you
just don't
emailed
have
it to
Yeah,
me.
that's what she
I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in an email, and it receipts, so I can find it
Yes.
if it's necessary.
Why is this?
No, I can't, I have 5% on my phone, sorry.
Okay, may I suggest,
Since we have so many items tonight, while
We can come back.
everybody's looking for those, can we come back and move on to the item, I think it's 13, that we agreed to move up and discuss appointing Teresa Masonette to the budget, to be our budget representative. And there's actually 2 positions available. But while you're looking for that, can you move this item?
right, I think Candace was
The other person.
the other budget advocate,
Budget rep.
Budget rep, sorry.
Laura, which one is this? So
We're
the,
gonna go near the very end. Very end. We can't do this with the people. So
Right.
we can do that. So Teresa.
The-
It's item 12.
Budget rep, item 12.
okay,
So we'll be doing item 12, appoint Teresa Masonette and Candace.
Well, I said that I was going to open it up to someone else who wanted to.
Yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, because I also dislike them. Traffic stops again.
All right, let's go to the agenda item of appoint budget reps. There are 2 positions. Teresa has expressed interest.
Okay.
If there's a second one open, I would be willing, or are you?
Oh, I was gonna, motion to support her, I wasn't gonna.
Oh, okay. If you need a second person, if there's a second position open. 2 reps?
Yeah.
No, it's 2 reps and then they elect them. Budget reps elect, Region 10 elects.
Yes,
Do you want to
I-
work together on that?
Sure, I'm gonna do it, Chris, so
Yeah.
you wanna work with me, but I'm gonna
Well, that'd be 2 of us doing it.
and
Okay.
then Candace, did you, or?
She
did you
just
want-
said she'd open it up to others.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
okay.
what she said.
yeah, because
We're speaking of budget reps, we need 2. It's item 12 on the agenda. Teresa Masonette, definitely is, confirmed for 1. Candace said she's opening it up, and Chris Carlson said she would, be 1.
Right.
Wait,
So what do we do with Candace? You're in or you're out? You're opening it up, you're out. Okay,
That's okay,
I
so,
treasure stuff.
okay.
and I imagine maybe Teresa could just tell everybody what the budget reps
Thank
and
you.
then the budget
Thank
advocates
you.
do.
There we go.
So each neighborhood council can appoint 2 neighborhood budget reps. And out of that body, the representatives elect the advocates, who then go to all the departments within the city council, within the city of Los Angeles, and they advocate for funding for whatever the neighborhood councils need. I would do trees, and we probably talk about dealing with some of the homeless, unhoused that we have, and some of the other issues that
Back to 50,000.
increase the budget for the neighborhood council. Crosswalks, and talk about that. So we take the things that are important to our neighborhood council and we bring it to the meetings, and then that if whoever's elected, I think there are 3 in each region, so they get elected, and then they actually meet with all the GMs and they present it to the city council.
What's a GM?
General manager, so like BOE has a general manager, Recreation and Parks has a general manager, so I'm asking, I'd like to participate in that, I'd like to be able to go to those meetings, and we have to get approval from the board to be able to do that. So I'm asking for support and approval to apply to that.
So, Alfonso, do we need 2 separate BACs, or can we just do a single BAC for 2 people?
For the budget applicants,
For the budget
Yes.
reps?
for the budget reps. It's not a funding item, right? There's no money involved.
No,
It's just a
I think-
position.
I think
But-
you don't need a BAC for that, right?
well,
Yes, but they need to receive one.
Oh, they need to receive.
Right.
But like the funding rep doesn't need to receive one, right?
Okay, oh, never mind.
I would have-
You understand my question?
My understanding about the budget reps would also be tying multiple people together on a BAC may be complicated.
Right, so let's do two.
Okay.
So I move to appoint Teresa Masonette as one of our two budget representatives to that organization.
Second.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna do a VAC? Yes. Rosanna?
Nuriel,
Aye.
Dolores,
Aye.
Candace,
Aye.
Laura,
Yep.
Michael Soderstrom. Oh, that's right, he left, that's right.
He left.
Edward,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Paula,
Yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Doreen,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Michael Kimbrough,
C.
Chris.
Yes.
Are you eligible to vote too?
I'm eligible to vote.
Yes.
It's not a funny item, so she can vote on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Completed all my training, so I'm
Yeah.
eligible to vote.
Yeah.
We're going in a circle on that, but don't argue tonight. We don't have time. Statement of fact.
Diana,
Yes.
thank you. Christopher Weed,
Yes.
thank you. Motion passes.
All right, and then I move that we accept Chris Carlson as our second budget representative for this organization. It's been moved and seconded, and we're gonna do a BAC for that.
Okay, so Paula and Grace sign it.
Okay.
So sorry.
No, I think I said it last meeting, but isn't Sarah doing a fabulous job?
I get green face, I get pink face. That's why I need to.
Finally got someone that likes that job.
I'm just You moved, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Grace. Thank you. Okay, Nuriel,
Aye.
Dolores,
Yes.
Candace,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Edward,
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula,
Yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Corinne,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Michael Kimbrough,
Yes.
Chris,
Can I vote for myself? That's
Yes.
Yes.
Diana, Chris Reed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Christopher. Okay, there we go, motion passes. Thank you.
All right. Getting something done. Yeah. All right, so then,
So is Candace ready on this reimbursement or do we move on again?
Recognize it.
Candace, did she step away? Okay, we're gonna keep moving. Okay, are you ready?
Are you ready on reimbursements?
I gotta put together.
Okay, and then Grace, do you have Dennis's?
I don't have Dennis's.
Okay, so we can't do him tonight.
Who seconded the reimbursement for Michael? Do you remember? Because I know Teresa moved.
No, we haven't done from reimbursement for Michael, we don't even have a motion.
We did.
But what's the amount?
I think it was left.
Oh, that's what's left blank.
She was looking up.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's why we can't vote.
Let's keep moving. So now we have funding requests coming up. Architecture for Communities, Los Angeles.
That would be
Executive
Tracy's,
Committee.
that would be Tracy's own.
Okay, is she here?
She is, and give me a moment because I'm trying to open up.
The Executive Committee recommends 2,000.
Right.
To create a short video exploring the rich historical diversity of architecture and diversity in the West Adams District.
Okay, so this is Tracy Stone, who's going to briefly tell us who she is, what is a CLA, and what we are voting on. And I'm going to share the screen.
Good evening. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate being able to join by Zoom tonight. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Terrific. So my name is Tracy. I am the Director of Political Outreach and an architect, and I'm with the ACLA, which is Architecture Communities LA. And I'm following on the heels of Ziba Gassemi and Cerise Griffiths, who is our Deputy Director, and they presented this before the Executive Committee. Briefly, we are the nonprofit arm of the AIA-LA, which is the American Institute of Architects. We are the outwardly focused arm, and our goals are to inspire people to value architecture and to empower everyone to create a better Los Angeles, one student, one building, and one community at a time. I'm coming to you because we are locating our new headquarters in West Adams at 4450 West Adams Boulevard, which is at Victoria. When it came to deciding where to locate our new headquarters, the board thought that in order to support the ACLA's mission to serve underserved communities, we shouldn't be in a well-served community. And we really like the fact that West Adams is a diverse neighborhood with a rich architectural history. So our request is for funding to help us create a short documentary video that will explore the rich historical diversity of the architecture and the residents in the West Adams district. We're going to partner with Abramson Architects, who is a local West Adams firm, and they have been doing a lot of research, I believe, on the architectural history of the area, as well as the West Adams Neighborhood Association, the West Adams Sugar Hill-based Amazing Grace Conservatory, and poet Mike Songson. Our goals are to feature information about architecture and history of the area, which will serve as a resource for us, for the AIA, and for neighborhood councils such as yours and neighborhood organizations to help educate people about the area and its history. Initially, the video will be featured at our new building, and it will be playing to welcome visitors and the neighborhood into the building and help educate people about the area. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, well, let me give executive committee report. We did discuss this at length. One of the things we talked about, in addition to all the resources that she mentioned, is the research our communications team did 2 years ago before the branding effort, to collect photos and do interviews with community stakeholders of UNNC about our diversity. And again, architecture, but primarily also people and heritage. So that we talked about, we would work, in addition to any funding we may give, we would also kind of reevaluate the material we have, and at least the stuff that we can get licensing for or public domain, help provide that to the video. So some of the images that we saw in our great presentation were internal. So the team never got licensing on a lot of photographs, basically. But on others, we do have permission. So they requested $4,000. That's kind of well beyond our budget. Executive committee majority is recommending $2,000, and minority, but the treasurer thought $1,500, but we actually voted to recommend to you a $2,000 budget for this funding request.
Chris?
Wait. So that would be the motion, but it would require a second from someone who's not on the executive.
Can I second a question first?
Second should come first before
I'll second.
discussion. Thank you.
Okay,
The question is, what's the anticipated length of the document?
Oh, Tracy, what's the anticipated length of this video documentary celebration?
I believe it's between 3 and 5 minutes. It's not super long. I think it's enough to, play fairly quickly and let people get through it. It's not a feature length by any means.
And Chris has a question?
Are there additional funds being contributed from other sources?
Yes, we have asked the West Adams Neighborhood Council for a similar grant, and we are in the process of raising money from our membership.
Any other questions? Okay, so we have,
I was gonna ask,
Okay, go ahead.
No, Chris asked.
Okay. So the motion is that we grant $2,000 towards this effort.
Right, and in a NPG. Yes?
I'm sorry, I do have a question. Candace, how much money do we have available?
4,500 is what's left of our NPG allocation.
In the NPG before we do budget.
Right, we haven't rebudgeted.
So we have enough for tonight.
Yeah, that's 4,500 currently, so we gave them 2 days.
Yeah.
NPG Neighborhood Purpose Grant, it's gonna come out of that bucket. We have 4,000 in there and we're asking for 2,000. Is there a second to
Yeah,
that?
someone said 4,500.
Michael seconded, okay, then we'll call for.
Did you say 4,500 is in it?
Yeah, but the point is we have enough money today within that budget to not have to
I
do
just
any.
wanted the record to be clear, because I heard 45.
Right, it's 45 at the moment.
I see.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Marielle?
Aye.
Dolores? Aye. Candace?
Aye.
Laura?
Oh, aye.
Michael?
Food in my mouth.
Edward?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Kareem?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Michael Kimbrough?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Christopher Weed?
No.
Thank you, motion passes.
Okay, and then we have another, request.
That's for the contact information from her.
Can we ask her for a contact?
I think it's in the chat. Tracy, did you put your contact in the chat?
I did. I put my email in there.
Here, this is what I'm gonna do, everybody. Whoever wants you got a minute. There it is, T-Stone at Tracy Stone architect singular.com.
Can you move that so that we can also get Kathleen's info?
Up, or you mean down?
Oh.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing. Okay.
And I'm so sorry, I couldn't hear the result of your vote. Did you find?
Voted yes.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, let's keep moving. Project PIT, Executive Committee recommends 2,000. Project PIT requests an NPG, Neighborhood Purpose Grant, to support a session at Johnny Cochran Middle School in Arlington Heights to raise awareness of mental health, utilizing a blend of creative expression and performance.
Okay.
The request was 4,000, Executive Committee agreed for 2,000.
Okay, who's presenting?
Okay.
I'm gonna put her updated one. Please, introduce yourself and go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Mary Dorsey. I am with the nonprofit Project PIT. I will be as brief as possible. We are a nonprofit organization that connects arts, education, and entertainment together in one. We had the opportunity to produce a mental health festival this past May called I Love Myself at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall. From that birthed a couple of schools that really kind of expressed interest in what we did. We connected and tied mental health in what we would hope was a unique and engaging way. We had performances, we had sessions, we had panels. We also had a plethora of free resources for the community. From there, high schools, middle schools, elementary schools reached out and said, we would love to see how we could bring this into our schools. We started kind of reaching out to different neighborhood councils to see kind of about support and or funding and providing opportunities for us to go into the schools, as well as we've also sourced grants outside of this. From there, we were able to make our way here. We got an amazing suggestion and recommendation as it pertains to Johnny Cochran Middle School. We from that recommendation, reached out to the principal, let him know, hey, we're interested in providing kind of this resource activation. He responded and said, this is actually right on time. They're actually doing their first kind of break-in session. The students have been having a bit of trouble as far as just acclimating and being in the space together. So from there, we were able to say, we're definitely interested in partnering and providing programming and support to be able to give students a safe space to be themselves. So Johnny Cochran has graciously opened up their doors, not once, but they want us to come back twice. So we are, the goal is to work with them this December to provide kind of this chill kid zone for students to work together, music, performances, and just an opportunity for kids to express themselves in a positive and uplifting way. So we're doing that in December, as well as they requested us to come back in April to do that as well. And as the Assembly member mentioned, the importance of mental health and providing resources to those schools. With the grant, if we're awarded and granted, of course, you guys' logo visibility will be on all of, if you guys are okay with it, on all our images, videos, photos, as well as a thank you on behalf of the students at Johnny. So that's pretty much my spiel.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Okay, so, yes.
Have you approached council?
We actually have a meeting with them tomorrow as well.
Council has significant discretionary funds, some are in excess of $50,000 per council member. And since the number of schools you mentioned are in the district, strong encouragement.
Yes, we have a meeting with them tomorrow. They actually partnered with us for the Mental Health Festival, for Council District 8 and Council District 10.
Okay, I just want to jump in. have you guys read this? Because I'm going to unshare this and then share the budget. It's a separate document.
Oh, so I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I've been on that campus and they did it yesterday. So, what are the activities do you actually, that warrants the funds?
Yes, so we'll do, it's match, jumbo Jenga, jumbo connect four, stress ball, positive affirmation. So it's like forms that they'll be able to fill out and do kind of positive affirmations for. We'll have a digital photo booth for them. So really interactive. The goal is to release the stigma of mental health and really kind of bring it in a way that makes it embracive. People don't realize I have a background in education.
Oh, I just want to know, I just think, so we can go along,
right.
You know, but when you say interactive, do you intentionally make it diverse, by groups?
Yes.
Because I want to make sure everybody plays with one another?
Yes.
So, okay.
Right.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
So what was presented to the executive was a request for $4,000. We also, it's in the agenda packet, but we also have a budget for $4,000, two pages each with $2,000, but we don't have $4,000. So the committee recommended $2,000, but we're jumping back and forth between $1,500 and $2,000. So the official recommendation and the motion is for $2,000 with a minority report.
Teresa?
Thank you, Paula. I think it was up to 2,000.
Up to, yeah.
Okay, up to 2,000. Marion, can you tell me how much money do you anticipate getting from the council district?
Yes, so we don't have a number from Council District 10. We meet with them tomorrow at noon. Our board has made the decision, as well as we've gotten a grant from the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health to cover expenses for, so basically, the hope and goal is that if we're awarded today, Department of Mental Health has provided us with a grant to basically cover the expenses to Unnc grant for both days that they requested.
Well, I'd like, as a part of the executive committee, I'd like to make a motion that we approve $1,000 for this MPG.
Changing the amount.
Changing the amount. Well, that's not on behalf of the executive, but it's okay to propose an amendment.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. I mean, executive made a thing, but that doesn't have to be what we vote on tonight.
Okay, so are they gonna make up whatever we don't give, or is it?
No, they'll give, they've got money.
So for the challenge is, and I'm not, what we told them, so they're matching 2,000. That's the bottom line. Yeah, so we, at this point, yeah, so it's a matching grant, so they're only gonna match what we get funded for. For Council District 10, we are like really hopeful, however, there have been a couple of internal challenges right now, so, yeah.
So since we're still in conversation and it sounds like they have some funding, maybe not have the funding, I think the first one where it was up to 2,000 gives us the leeway to give that to them for what they need.
And there's a motion on the floor for 1,000.
Well, it's not really, neither motion was seconded, neither two nor one
No,
was seconded.
that's the motion on the floor, and it needs to be seconded. Is there a second for 1,000?
Wait, but it wasn't the 2,000 on the agenda?
Yes, but the motion was made for 1,000.
All right, guys, technically, the executive committee motion was 2,000. Teresa
It was a
is suggesting
Exactly.
that we amend it to 1,000.
Right.
But neither motion was seconded at this point.
As long as the wording is up to 2,000,
Yes.
I'd like to move, I will second up to 2,000.
Okay, so now what did we do with the? Okay, so the first motion was made, it was not seconded. So do we move on from there?
Neither motion was seconded.
Okay,
So let's do the first motion, because we didn't have an opportunity to even get a second on that. So that is what is on the agenda, so let's do that.
Okay, so the initial motion or recommendation is, it says 2,000, doesn't say up to. It says executive committee recommends 2,000.
So who made the motion? Because a recommendation from the committee is not a motion.
Okay, the way it works is if a committee makes a motion, it could be Sarah, it could be Paula, it could be Laura, it could be Candace, it could be Teresa, but we make the committee's motion. And then someone not on the committee would need to second.
And I think we just had a second in the room.
I'm happy to second that. Yeah.
So we have to.
Okay, so wait a minute, she's trying to get the minutes straight.
No, it's
the VAC straight.
Yeah, we have,
We need a person.
We need a person, not a committee.
Okay,
Who's
Laura
gonna make the motion?
made the motion.
Who's seconded?
Half of the
Thank you.
committee.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then I have a comment.
You have what?
Comment, we're in comment.
We're now
We're in
Discussion.
Okay, he did the second, okay, now we're.
And Muriel can discuss first, I hope, at some point to be called.
Yeah, I think my only discussion point will be, it's not to disparage architectural arts, but this feels incredibly high impact for me, and we just gave $2,000 for a 3-minute video. And so I feel quite comfortable giving $2,000 for this project.
All right, Laura?
Well, what I was gonna say is, we, UNNC, have been quite comfortable year after year after year after year, giving $2,000 to Dynasty. Educate, this kind of similar education, but I love the idea that it's a different nonprofit and specific to a school that in our 20 years, we have not done an activity at. So that's.
Thank you.
I was just saying, if they have the funds, right, and they're gonna be able to get it elsewhere, why would we not give to another place that we can give to when they've got the funds?
She said it's a matching grant.
Right, I know, but there's also the hope that the District 10 office would fund it, and therefore we wouldn't. I want to fund you guys and match it, but I'm saying if there's someone else coming up and saying, I'm gonna give you money, why would we give all of our funds here when we don't need to, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but we have a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded.
But this is part of the discussion.
Yeah.
This is discussion.
Okay, so L'Oreal?
I've already spoken.
Since I'm the one that referred to the fact that council of districts do have discretionary money, the fact is they are not as generous and as directly open, and until you have the commitment of the money, you don't have the money. And so, If it's a match and they've already got a commitment for the match for the 2,000, since we do encourage our organizations to do the groundwork to get that kind of match, I would support that we go forward with the 2,000 because it gives them the match. And my expectation is that should the council office give more money to this project, it would offer additional opportunities at Johnny Carter or other schools in that district.
Yes. Oh, so that's the goal. So we had 2 targeted schools. Johnny Cochran was the first one that responded, so that's the school that we presented. The additional middle school is within you guys' area and district. So if we receive, and this is an if, to your point, we have done quite a few events with council districts in the past, and for example, we did a program with them in July. We have still not received funds.
Right.
So it can be a bit cumbersome and challenging as it pertains to that. But anywho, if we were to receive funds from Council District 10, we would then go to the additional middle school to then provide services.
All right.
What's the additional middle school that you? West, it's fine. Adams, West Adams, it's fine.
What's that?
Okay, it's 8:25. Go ahead, Michael.
I'm sorry, I'm wondering, I'm reading, what specifically do you do at the event? Has that been covered? Did I miss
Yes,
that?
they show that. Games and different interactive activities. Yes.
Mental health support services.
Yes.
And all
Is it an assembly, is it a?
So during their lunchtime, they get an extended lunch, so it's like almost a pep rally. So the essential of a pep rally, but it's a mental health themed pep rally. So they do games, it's interactive, they work together. We have we have counselors on site. Now, we do not dig deep into their personal or emotional lives. That's not what we're coming in there to do. We're coming in there to give them tools. So.
Tori?
I have an additional question, since you said that, as you're doing these games, they will discover the behaviorisms of the people.
Yeah.
Whether they like to share, whether they don't like to share, whether they're ethical, whether they're not. I mean, I deal with this with the homeless women and the children. So the behaviorism is gonna come out, and trust me, that school needs it, trust me, they do. So, and most of these schools, that's why you can eliminate, if you did activities like this more often, you wouldn't have all these shootings and mass shootings and everything, because some children never ever played a game at home.
Yeah, they don't have an outlet.
Ever.
Yeah, they can't go outside.
So for them to know how to interact with others and play games and know that there's some fun out there other than riding a bike, then it teaches them all kind of skills as far as mathematical and everything.
Yeah.
So, trust me, they need to learn how to do that.
Okay, Ed had his hand up,
Yeah, I just have a
and
question.
then Dolores.
I just have a clarification, that the list you had up there, I'm saying the money is it going for those specific items? I mean, you had dollar amounts for, okay, so it's to purchase, okay, that's right. I just want to clarify this.
Dolores?
Did you say $2,000 to this architect lady?
Yes.
We did give $2,000.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Question.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Nuriel,
Aye.
Dolores,
Aye.
Candace, Laura,
Aye.
Edward,
Aye.
I am a yes, Paula,
Yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Kareem,
Yes.
Teresa,
Abstain.
Michael Kimbrough,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Diana,
Yes.
Christopher Weed,
Yes.
thank you, motion passes.
All right.
Good luck to your event.
Yeah.
Please
And
keep
we
us-
want our
oh,
children to
please
succeed.
get you guys' logo and stuff like that. And someone will talk to you about it.
I have it.
Okay, so, item 9 on the agenda, proposed CIS's UNC community impact statement requiring cooling apparatus on all rental units. Is up for discussion. Is there a presentation on that? Is that you, Laura?
Yes. This is the one that we've been playing around with for months now,
Yeah.
and we're running out of time really to even have an impact. And I am looking for did you guys all, it's been in the agenda packet now for 2 months too. So I'm just having a little trouble finding it this second. Basically, while I'm looking for it, and I don't see it.
Okay, what?
Oh, thank you, Teresa is smart. So good. Yes, but yeah, here's a draft comment. So this is about, remember the city council has voted, and they're now gathering reports from various departments to consider requiring multifamily properties to provide air conditioning in the units. And we had a long discussion at a board meeting 2 or 3 months ago, I think. And then we've had subsequent meetings at the environmental committee, and then we didn't have quorum. So already they're gathering a lot of those reports. But what we made a statement, and it's up on the thing, but basically we recognize and acknowledge the right of tenants to have a rental unit that can be brought and kept at standard temperatures. And that's heat as well as cooling. However, we are also concerned, going real quick through this, also concerned that so many of the buildings in Los Angeles are older buildings, and they weren't considering, there's been no discussion to date about the cost to the property owner of just adding the electrical capacity to support air conditioning. And I will, on a personal note, tell you, because I'm involved with a 10-unit bungalow court, the bids we're getting to add, to upgrade the electric is between $70,000 and $90,000 for 10 years. So, and then our staunch environmentalists on the environmental committee are saying, well, wait a minute, what's it going to do to the electric grid? I mean, in other words, is it very good to add actual air conditioning to every unit for the environment? So, let me just quickly go through this. So one thing that we're suggesting, the committee is suggesting, is that instead create a standard for the temperature, not how you get to the standard, because maybe fans will work. I mean, in other words, not installed air conditioning necessarily, but a standard, just like there's a heat standard that building and safety enforces, at 36 inches, you must have a unit that equals X degrees, so maybe it can be no higher than Y degrees. And LADWP's focus so far has been to look at the programs where you can buy the air conditioners for less money. And that's great. I don't think any landlord cares if it's $100 or $200. It's the electricity that's the issue, not the air conditioning unit. But are there other technologies? So, and as well, rooftop solar should be explored, not just for reducing demand on the electric grid, but it provides a thermal barrier that helps keep the units clear. So this is really a comment letter, this one page. And I mean, I have this in writing, pass it out, but I think this incorporated all the comments that had happened at the board meeting. And then we had, like I said, a really kind of robust discussion at the committee level. And Dennis Lesky came because it's also part of the emergency prep advocacy citywide. So, I think this pretty much encapsulates it and would be a comment letter, neater than this, but a comment letter. So I'm hoping we can just say yes to this.
And what is it that we're saying yes to?
I would say approve this comment letter but have executive committee approve the final form. Because it needs to have dear so-and-so, it needs to be a little
this is
neater.
not requiring the apparatus on all rental units.
This is asking for further reports, essentially.
Okay.
That the further consideration of these other aspects.
Yes.
And I guess the word consider should be spelled properly.
And what is this gonna do to the electrical grid of the city? And,
right. Well, it's
and the cost to the property.
Well, the cost of improving the electrical capacity of individual buildings. What about, in other words, what's the cost and feasibility of property owners? There was one other issue brought up, which is if the landlord spends $50,000 or $90,000, that's the kind of expense that can be passed along to the tenants. It's passed along over time, but that actually is a cost to tenants in part. I mean, it's, what happens is if they spend 100, 50,000 can be passed along to the tenant, it's a plural, and it's passed along over a 5-year period. But for some people, that $60 a month is something they can't afford.
Right.
Did you make the motion, Laura?
I will move.
Thank you.
That this memo from the environmental committee be accepted and adapted as a letter, with better format.
That will go to,
The executive committee can approve via email.
Can we,
that will go to,
and
Sure, please do.
Motion to submit CIS blank, the CF, pending exec committee approval.
Okay, so make it a community impact statement is fine with me. That means this will be shorter.
All right.
You need a second?
Yes.
I'll second.
Thank you, Grace.
all right, now Nuria has a question?
A comment.
Comment?
I think all this is really well reasoned. I think I've missed meetings where it's come up, so it's the first meeting I'm hearing it. I understand that our group is in support of it. I'm gonna vote no, and I'm gonna say why, just so it doesn't come out of nowhere for you guys. Again, I think all this makes sense. Mostly for 2 reasons. One, a big difference why every time you hear there's like a heat wave in Europe and like 200 people die.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen here, is air conditioning. We have it, they don't, it's a big deal, and I'm a physician, the patients I take care of have multiple sclerosis, a sensitive disorder.
Yeah.
And for many of my patients who have apartments in LA without AC, they suffer.
Yes.
So it really is a life-saving measure and public health one. And then the second point I'll make too is, in our Unnc footprint, the people we represent, 70 to 80% are renters. It's not necessarily the makeup here, but of most people we represent, they are renters. And I do think a lot about them. Obviously, the cost can be passed along to them. But I do think that if there were more renters here, I think more people would be speaking up about the difficulty of living in this area without the AC. And most people might take the trade-off of a slightly higher rent, I don't know. So at least for me, I'm gonna vote no, but I totally respect this group's sort of posture in coming to this point so far.
A no is for.
Any other submit?
A no.
This?
Yes.
No, he's voting no. He's
No, I'm
voting
going
no.
to explain why,
Because he
but I
wants to
understand it,
support
I understand if you guys vote yes on it. Just sort of.
No, we're saying we want more research before we just.
Yes, that letter is asking, and it's going to city council?
It would go to our council member. So
They go to everyone.
if we can cut it to 2,000 characters and spaces, right now it's 2,900 characters and spaces. So if we can cut it down to 2,000 or less, we can file it as a community impact statement, and we can also write it pretty and send it as a letter to our council member and even all the council members. So we can do it both ways. That's so long as it's shorter.
Okay, Sarah has a question.
So I have a couple thoughts. Near and dear to my heart, my husband has MS. We have a rental, we have air conditioning. And I know what you mean, and I think it needs to be an ADA thing. That's a separate issue. But I also think that asking for the city to think about things before they just pass the willy-nilly, that's why I'm gonna vote.
Oh, right. And we absolutely discuss seniors, health issues. I mean, this is just a result, it's a comment on the process right now.
It was one thing that the meeting I was at, we had mentioned that it was,
Speak louder, please.
there was one thing that was mentioned at one of the meetings I was at, that it could be used nefariously by property owners to clear buildings.
Right.
If they have to do a major upgrade.
Yep.
Right.
Then it could use
No,
it to get lower rental people out.
Right.
And up the rent. So that was another possible impact.
Right.
Whenever you do a change.
We had robust, long discussions.
Go ahead, Nuria.
I have no problem with that. I think, oftentimes when we ask the government to study something before we do it, what we ask them to study matters. So in this case, we're not asking them to study the health impacts relative to the environmental ones. We're just asking about the environmental ones. We're not asking for what the economic impact is on renters. We're asking what the economic impact is right now on landowners.
Well,
so I do think if we rephrase this differently, I could be in
Well, and
support,
we
but the questions we're asking to study to me aren't the ones
I think what you're basically saying is our preface isn't sensitive enough, and we should.
I don't know about I don't know
Well,
about
maybe sensitive, but I mean, the preface can bring in more of this, and it should, and we can, because this
Potentially,
is,
yeah.
Because this is not the exact thing we're
Yeah,
saying.
it's a working document.
It's a working
Yes, that is gonna go back to
But-
executive committee.
Can I one point of clarification? If we specify a support for the idea that the temperature has a definition of coolness like it does for
Well, it's
heat,
a performance standard.
a performance standard, that would meet everyone's needs if it was set appropriately.
Yeah, well,
for
then
human
we're
occupancy.
saying that,
Yeah,
but I
so-
think what Muriel is saying is we should start this out by saying 60% of, is it Angelinos or UNNC? Angelinos?
UNC is 70 to 80%
Right,
renters.
all right, but we should say that. I mean, in a letter we read, we
Right.
should say that.
Yeah.
And now we will.
But I was, to Miriam's point, that temperature definition would be a requirement that would make habitability
But-
from both
But
cold
my
and
question
hot.
is, whatever we decide, whereas, that has to be a number that's rooted in some science.
In such-
Anyway, I think we're all on the same page here, is what
Right.
it's sounding like.
And it is 20 of 9, and we have a
Yeah.
bunch of other things to approve tonight.
Okay.
Okay, so, where are we now? We're on this,
We need to vote.
yeah, we need to vote on
Okay.
this letter, upgraded letter
Okay,
that's gonna turn.
adopting in concept the memo to become a community impact statement
Yes.
and a letter,
Yes,
with some additions per the discussion we just had.
So motion to submit the CIS pending executive committee approval.
And
Yeah.
that too.
all right, so the motion has been made, has it been seconded?
Second.
Okay, great, so seconded, let's call for the vote.
Muriel?
No.
Dolores?
Abstain.
Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael, oh, sorry. Edward?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Corinne?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Diana?
No.
Christopher?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and I would move that we table item II.
Two. Okay.
Because it's not time sensitive.
Okay.
And I would then suggest, I mean, we're moving to president's report for you, Paul.
And,
But we've already had that
Yes,
discussion.
we're
so
moving
table that.
on. We're moving on to the secretary's report.
Oh, did you want to tell people about our vacancies and resignations? You're no, okay.
Go on to the secretary's report. Right now, we have 4 active vacancies, and then Muriel is gonna, the end of this year be gone. So, we really need to, thank goodness, we have a new member, but we need to,
We need to find some more
we
people.
need to find people to be on, and, actually, thank you, Laura, for saying that. I was going to ask each of you, but, can be sent out as an email. Each of you reach out to your community to, encourage and see if anybody is interested in serving.
So you can't leave until you bring it up.
You got 1 month. You got, well, I can share my thoughts on that too.
Okay, we're moving on to secretary's report.
All
right.
I'm getting it.
No worries.
Okay.
These are the minutes from the September meeting. There was no meeting in October,
Right.
so there were no minutes. All right, so this is the September meeting. We had the approval of the agenda, the roll call, that's the attendance. Public comments, government agencies. With the executive committee reports. The committee reports. And then we had old business and adjournment.
Oh, boy, we adjourned at 8:39.
Well, we're not gonna adjourn.
8:43. All right,
I move to approve the minutes.
minutes of, okay.
Second.
That, yes, okay. So then, do we have to do minutes? Okay, all those in favor, raise hands.
Aye.
Okay, Motion passed. Moving on to VP report, attendance training. Do you have any?
Yes, well,
She's on the call.
here, hang on. Yes,
Hey, Betty.
so, this is Betty.
Quiet, please.
This is Betty, who's visiting us, and she has applied, and we'll interview her this month at executive to be returned to the board.
Wonderful, wonderful. We need you.
Okay.
Okay, VP report.
Okay, in terms of, both the attendance and the training documents are in your
Okay.
packets. And there are a few people whose attendance really hasn't been good, but I don't want to call them, like, me.
You
I
can speak
don't-
with them personally. Okay.
Huh?
You can speak with them personally.
Yes, well, and I have been.
Okay.
And in terms of training, so Diana did take her training.
Okay.
We have an issue, we have an ongoing issue with the way Cornerstone is set up, and it's confusing for, on the funding training in particular. You get this message saying, congratulations, you've completed it, blah, 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 and then in small type, it says, close this window and go back to Cornerstone to get your certificate. So there are people, right, well, you did it, but a couple of our other board members
Didn't see that.
didn't see that.
Some of them did it and it didn't bring back.
Okay.
And- Or whatever, the point being, we're trying to resolve the issue with Dunn, because they don't have the records either, and it's really, really annoying. So that's my report, sorry.
Why don't we do something about that?
I'm just saying.
Like a CIS about that. That's a good idea.
But even if you can't get the certificate, on your dashboard, it will say that you completed the course.
Well, I understand, I'm just saying, I understand that, and apparently if you don't catch the error fast enough, it kind of disappears. So if you missed it for 2 months, it's gone.
Right, I understand that, but.
Well, you're fine, you're good.
No, I guess the question is there certificate necessary if the dashboard says you completed?
No, I'm saying the dashboard disappears if you don't get the the problem is that if you, on funding training in particular, if whoever you are, Hunter needs to hear this, if you don't pull down your certificate, it just, after a few days or a week, goes away. And then the whole thing goes away, and now there's not a digital trail.
But if you have.
Have you escalated this, Laura?
We're working on it, but
What does that mean?
She's contacted them.
it's more than that. And,
Escalated it to who?
oh, are you asking me who I've escalated to Alfonso?
Because we've been working on this a while. Who have you escalated it to?
Our rep, I went from the
We
person.
need to go above him because it's taking too long.
You think? My time, I get it, but you guys, we're out of time.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not gonna solve it tonight.
Exactly.
Outreach Committee, Dolores. You have any, you have updates on the Wilshire LAPD open house and Taste of Soul. Do you have any comments for that?
That they were, the Wilshire open house was great. We had, several of our board members that participated in it. Madam President rode a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, I got a picture. I sat on the motorcycle, I didn't ride.
Photos. But the Taste of Soul, I sent out the notice on 2 or either 3 occasions. And I had 2 people sign up. That was Show and Madam President. Madam President came, Show didn't for whatever reason. And I have not made contact with her with regard to, it's not my job to chastise anybody. But I'm really annoyed. If you say you're gonna show up, you should show up. And all of the other neighborhood councils were there in the councilwoman's tent, West Side, Pico. There were about 3 or 4 different, and they had 3 or 4 board members at each one of their tables, and it was just Paula and I holding down the fort.
Yeah, they were overflowing and we were.
Yeah.
We were.
And as a matter of fact, one of the board members said, are you gonna have anybody come to relieve you? And embarrassingly, I said, oh, they're on the way. Knowing that nobody else was coming.
Which is mine.
So, it's just that everybody on this board gave a commitment to participate in our outreach activity. Everybody on this board. But then once we got on the board, some folks turned into bench warmers.
Yeah.
Like you do at church, you just come and pay your dues and then you leave. You don't participate. And so I'm just a little discouraged with that commitment from our board. So if we're saying that we're going to do outreach, then that means that everybody needs to participate. Outreach is not a one-person committee. So.
And then Cyclavia?
I don't know anything about Cyclavia.
Okay, I do. Well, Paula, you do too, but Paula might be getting twice weekly emails from Cyclavia because they're doing, their next Cyclavia is on Sunday, December 3rd, and it's on Martin Luther King from Crenshaw to Central Avenue, and then down Crenshaw to down into Lamar Park. And they want to know if we're going to have a booth. And so to Dolores's point, they want us to reply by tomorrow to say we're having a booth, but who here, it's a long day, will help person the booth, because that's a really, really busy booth. You usually need 3 people per shift.
Do we have it?
No, they're asking, do we want to have?
They'll give us the table and the tent, that's not the issue. The issue is, are we gonna people it? We have the stuff, but we can't expect just Dolores, Paula, Laura, Grace, Teresa.
And Teresa has really been a trooper in just about everything that we've had.
Yes.
Her and her husband James, and he's not even on our board.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys.
They need to get a certificate.
Yes, guys. First of all, Mariel has his hand up, but my point is, the most recent email was, will you turn in us, UNC, upload the application, I mean, it's an application, but we're a yes, by tomorrow. So we need to know tonight if we have enough people who are gonna person that booth.
How long is the period?
Well, their Cyclavia is from 10 to 4, so you've gotta set it up, you've gotta knock it down, so it's like 9 to 5.
Are you gonna coordinate that, Laura? 'Cause
No.
Well,
I mean, no, I can't, I physically can't.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, so then we're done with that and we're moving on. Mariel, you have a question?
No, it's not the same.
Trying to volunteer, but.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2. And anybody else want to volunteer?
Sorry, can we complete 3? Sorry. I'm up to help volunteer for up to a 2-hour shift.
Yeah, and I can do that too, but
Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
But I don't have a car, I can't help sit
Well,
up, shut down.
And let me just
do it.
say, when I'm asked, can you coordinate it? I had a heart attack the day before the last Cyclavia,
Right.
remember? And I got our stuff got there, but I got yelled at by the doctor where they're saying, we're calling the ambulance. And I said, you have to wait until David comes and gets all the stuff out of the car before I go.
So
But I
question
can't
1.
set it up.
Okay, question 1, do we have a coordinator for Cyclavia?
We have 2, are there any?
We have 2 volunteers.
I mean, I can go, but I can't do more.
Okay, we have our new members volunteering, okay, sounds like we will have.
Make a recommendation.
Yes, but who will chair?
Sounds like we don't have anyone to organize it, which means
Yes.
that we can't do this, is what I'm hearing.
That's the chair.
Okay, so part of the problem is when if you wait until the board meeting to ask something like that as opposed to sending out an email prior to, you may have gotten more participation because asking us on the spot.
I sent out 3 emails for all of our events.
No, I'm not talking about the previous one.
Okay.
This one.
All right, I'll stand down.
Yeah, I'm not
stand down.
This is like the first time.
I will take on the organization.
Okay, Chris is
We
gonna
will
chair.
send it in
I will take on the organization, I have one volunteer, everyone's gonna get an email about the day. And there'll be something special for everybody who puts an effort in for Stick with
By the way,
Me,
you
okay?
should come to Stick with Me too.
Okay, we got till December 30th. Yeah, okay.
Come sit with us.
We can always pull out the chat.
Let me just mention that you gotta have something to pass out.
Yeah.
So
well,
that
that's
means
the-
going over to the storage room
Okay.
and packing those bags
Okay.
and then carting
I will
them.
pack the bag. Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about getting more involved, this is the opportunity right now. Okay, we've got to keep moving.
We do.
Planning and zoning.
Okay.
Motion for city to lease and or purchase newly built 44-unit apartment building.
Right. Okay, so I've passed out our motion, but I want to share the screen first with the city council motion, so that we're really actually talking about something that's real. So basically, on St. Andrews, just north of Venice, so a couple blocks north of here, there is a brand new, almost finished building that is on 2 lots, and it has, according to the motion that we have from the city council, 44 units in it.
Is that the one with no parking lot?
No, I'm sure it has some parking, because of when it was approved, which was 2019. How it became 44 units, I do not know. The zoning is R2, but it was originally kind of approved over the zoning because it was to be some sort of elder care hospital. Anyway, and then it became a TOC, then it became this, but in any case, now the owner, it has offered to the city, and the city seems like they're gonna accept it, the ability to either master lease or purchase the entire complex as permanent supportive housing. And that's not a bad thing. The issue that we discussed at the Planning and Zoning Committee is that the ownership of this also owns right next door the recently designated historic cultural monument, that Art Deco Streamline Moderne building. It's called the School of Eye, and they kind of abandoned it. They pulled out all of the landscaping. There's been a homeless encampment. It's not a great situation.
The one right on the corner?
Right on the corner. And so I'm stopping this share. Do you guys want to see a picture of that? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to show you the pretty picture as opposed to the currently ugly picture. So this is it when it was identified by Survey LA as a potentially historic building. All of that landscaping is gone. There is a homeless encampment on the street. Anyway, it's not in good shape. And they were using it as also the parking lot as a construction setup. So all of those things being the case, we kind of entered the conversation with the idea of like, why are we rewarding this guy without then requiring him to use some of the money to fix this up? But we morphed our position. And our morphed current position, that's what I've passed around, is, hey, we support this as a recommendation to you, but why don't you also buy that building? And use it for the counseling center and the offices for all of the people that need to be employed for the permanent supportive housing. Because otherwise they need to remove units to create offices. So you buy this one too, make it part of the deal. There may be enough room to have a few more residential units, but that's our recommendation essentially. So that's what you see in front of you.
So the motion is this recommendation?
Well, this recommendation.
Okay.
Is passed out.
Yes. Okay.
And I can put it up on the screen if you want.
No, we all have our copy.
Michael just second.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So then can we call for the vote?
That was good.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to after this leave. My ride is here.
Uh-oh. Do we still have quorum?
He was supposed to wait.
We got one extra.
Okay.
We had 4 teams.
Okay. That's good. That's fine.
Somebody else can.
So is there any discussion on this, or can we?
No,
No,
we're waiting for the vote.
Okay,
We're just waiting for her to sign it. That's okay.
Muriel,
I,
Dolores?
Candace?
Aye.
Laura?
Yep.
Edward?
Yes.
And Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Corinne? Yes. Teresa?
Yes.
Megan Pembroke?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Christopher Weed?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you all, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue sharing the meeting. So in terms of, for planning and zoning follow-up to previous cases, blah, 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 the 3020 South Crenshaw Boulevard, which is the CIM project to adaptively reuse the historical Kokusai Theater as an event center, was approved by the zoning administrator, appealed by the next door property owner. The hearing was scheduled for October, the third Tuesday in October, but after 4 hours of waiting through the oil drilling hearing, then they decided not to hear this case, so it will be heard in early December. So I'll give you an update. We Unnc we kept tabling, so we've never voted a new position, but that doesn't mean we oppose the appeal or support the appeal. But I sat through those 4 hours so I could say what our original position was, and that's about, to give us a chance to speak. So I'll sit through it again. And that's that update. On the oil drilling case, it was appealed by the oil drilling operator at Murphy, appealed to the South LA Area Planning Commission. And before the hearing had begun, the zoning administration of the city planning department had already adjusted quite a few of their conditions based on comments from the petroleum administrator or review of what the oil drilling operator had appealed in the first place. But having said that, they upheld the appeal in small part and did not, uphold the appeal. So essentially, I don't know where that case is going. The main thing the oil drillers do not wish to do is a 45-foot wall around the whole thing. And there's some question about even where the 45 feet begins. So that's still kind of being determined, but the commission gave that power back to the planning department to decide. They did not uphold the appeal on it. So that is, am I missing anything? Okay, next item, is the zombie tree. So does anyone want to see the grid, or do we just want?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This is also coming from the environmental
Committee.
This is the second one that you are bringing forward. You are not the chair of that committee, correct? We have not seen Elizabeth this entire season to come forth as the chair of that committee and present any of these environmental requests or issues. So my question is, why is the chair of that committee not here? And as you are not the co-chair, why are you presenting all of the environmental motions?
Okay, Teresa, I'm sorry now, you guys,
I think that's a legitimate question.
It is a legitimate question, but I also would say that our position on committees is that anyone who participates is a member of the committee. And it is, Tori's here because Tori's a glutton for punishment. But John isn't here, he's the chair of plan. Well, no, I understand, but because I don't want to be co-chair of two committees doesn't mean I can't present what the work of a committee that has 6
I'm actually not saying, I'm asking why the chair is not here, not questioning your ability to present. I'm just asking why over the past few months, we have had many motions come from environmental presented by you and not the chair of the committee.
Well, I'm not sure if the board wants to create a policy that we have all, committee chairs are open to members of our stakeholder public. Do we have a second policy that therefore requires that they attend the board meeting as if they were on the board? I don't know, because I think our goal setting and having the ability for people who are not members of the board, be chairs or co-chairs, is to expand our reach and not contract it. So I do understand, I didn't ask Elizabeth to come, I don't know if Paula asked Elizabeth to come. And perhaps we do need to establish a policy that chairs come at least quarterly, and have a grid, but this is a motion from an entire committee. And if motions from committees might hit on days, on months that would not be the expected month for the chair to attend anyway. Yeah.
This is what it works. So the committee has passed this and asked the governing board to rule on it and ask for it to be seen at this meeting.
Correct.
And the chair is not here.
Correct.
But
It never is.
it never is, which is a problem.
Or on Zoom.
Sounds like a separate problem, but the committee does want us to hear this today.
Right, and it is a committee that actually has 6 or 7 active members.
Yeah.
Most of whom are not on the board, but 3 of whom are former board members.
Understood.
So,
Yeah.
including Elizabeth.
To the point that Diana's making, there's no point talking about it when the committee chair is not here.
Well,
So if we want to address that part, we address it elsewhere.
correct.
If we're gonna address this, let's
Yeah,
address
this
it.
is the agenda.
Yeah.
It's after 9 o'clock.
So it is after 9 o'clock. So, and so I should say, Teresa separately is asking that we reestablish the tree committee and that she be its chair. So then the 2 committees will bifurcate. Now, how far they bifurcate, I don't know. 'Cause-
So Grant.
Are we on that item now?
No, I don't.
Why are you bringing it up? Let's finish with this one. Are we
Yeah,
gonna
let's do
table
this
it?
first.
Or
Let's
we
not-
table it?
Guys, there's a method to this particular madness.
Okay.
Well,
This request is simply to write a letter to the council office and or any relevant departments about removing, I'm now going, because LA Times made me happy today, removing the zombie trees, the 16 or 17 dead trees on Washington Boulevard from Normandy to Crenshaw, just simply stumps out, cages gone. And when we have that tree committee, then what to do with our new planting spaces leaves the environmental committee and moves to the tree committee. That, in my opinion, but we're not voting on that right now. So the motion is to write a letter.
Who's gonna write the letter?
Laura's going to write the letter.
And it'll be approved by the executive board. Is that, and so if you don't want to see the spreadsheet, that's perfectly fine, it's up in the, it's just really icky that there's 17 dead trees.
Yes, get dead trees out of the ground.
Get dead trees out of the ground. So the motion is to write a letter to the
I second.
city council, CD10 or city departments.
Asking them to do what? I didn't hear that.
Requesting the removal of all the dead trees on Washington Boulevard, including their stumps, including if they have cages surrounding them, removing the cages, removing the trees,
okay.
removing the stumps.
Okay, just, I have
Right, you're
a
right,
question
you're
or comment.
That's why you got 6 people.
So I will just say that a few years ago, the environmental committee came and asked the board for $6,900 to plant trees on Washington Boulevard, which had not been planted. Problems that went back and forth with USD, pandemic, that money is still sitting at KYCC. And my thought is to have all of the tree activity. Chris Carlson came and asked for some money for trees, there's a problem with that. I think Kansas is trying to figure out, do we get money carried over or where that money is? So if we have all the tree activity and we do a phased approach, like we did with the cages, I worked with the council district and sanitation to have those metal cages removed. There could be a process that we do a phased approach to address tree planting, tree removal, cage removal. And that's why I was trying to establish a committee, which Laura knows, but they decided they want to move forward with this.
So what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we wait to have one committee and everything falls under that.
created the tree policy, I did do the planning and zoning because we do have a problem with developers coming in and clearing out trees.
So you're asking us to table this until we get the
Yeah,
tree
but
thing?
that's not the motion on, the motion is on, it's been seconded, I'm just saying that this has been the problem with the trees coming with the environmental commission.
Okay, guys, I'm raising my own hand even though I guess I'm chairing this meeting. Teresa's not wrong, but there's no reason not to move ahead.
I just asked her opinion.
I know,
I didn't ask this table it or anything, I just asked her opinion.
Dolores,
Let's move on with that, is that seconded, let's do it.
Question?
Question is called.
All right. Nuriel?
But did this motion get seconded?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Edward? Nuriel, yes?
Aye.
You said? Dolores? Yes. Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael? Oh, sorry, that Michael left, I'm sorry. I got it. Okay, Edward?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula left. Grace? Yes. Corinne? Yes. Teresa? No. Michael?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Diana? Yes. Christopher?
Yes.
Thank you, motion passes.
Okay, so, and then the next item is create the tree committee and appoint Teresa as its chair. Our bylaws say 2/3, and I'm not clear, because we don't have clarity, if it's 2/3 of the people present or 2/3 of the board. This is something we're gonna need to clarify in the bylaws.
But I think our bylaws say
It doesn't. It's a mistake.
Okay, so I went in to take a look, and it does say 2/3, which I think needs to be correct.
It needs to be correct.
Where are we? Are we on D?
We are, I am so sorry.
I'm just like, what are we doing?
I am so sorry. I skipped
The
D
tree
by
committee.
accident. I did.
Which we
I
talked
skipped,
about
but I
already.
did
Let's
skip,
go.
but we can't do D. We can't, ugh.
Because we can't establish committee without a certain number, is that the idea?
Correct.
Okay.
But I am
I
so-
missed the connection, thank you.
I'm so sorry. We are on D,
We can't establish committee
but we
without
can't
2/3.
establish the 2/3. Other committee reports, Tori.
Without 2/3 of the board?
Right. We can't do this. So you guys, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep control here. Tori has a report, and we need to go back to the reimbursement for Michael.
Yes.
So let's have Tori do your report, and then we return to the one item. Do you have a report?
I'll do a quick report. That letter, that single letter that you guys sent around regarding property, I think we could probably expedite that through the Homeless Service Authority, which we've already met with the mayor regarding all this homelessness issues. She passed it on to another entity, and I'm on the task force for one of those entities now. So they're asking for properties, and if we submit something we would like to see it to be, maybe we can get that done. I meet with them every Monday. And so, we need to do that. And I like to thank Mary L. personally for attending my homelessness liaison meetings faithfully. And, last week we had, an attorney for renters and slumlords and things like that. And we had the LASA presenting all the numbers from the county, which was, oh God, it went up 9% in the county, and the numbers went up 10% in the city. Well, I think I reversed that.
Down to 6.
But it only went down as 5.6, so give us a hand for our area, more or less. I spoke for the school down on Jefferson. I signed up because they asked me to come give a presentation, and out of there we got something else to do, and that's homeless. Some people sleeping in their cars on 10th Avenue. So I'll probably go over there and hand them some information for safe parking, so they can go somewhere else and sleep in their car, unless there's a real reason why they're right there, so we'll see what happens with that. Mike, what I just said?
You said 10th.
So yes, Chris.
Is there any safe parking areas designated for our CD10 or Unnc area?
You know, that's a good question. I met with him too, the owner at the Riverdale. I had to come over and we had a conversation and met because of some concerns I had with some complaints I had for the safe parking regarding being on the council districts, not ours, but others. And what was happening with the staff coming in early harassing the people that were there. And so he assured me that wouldn't happen again, blah, 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 blah. But, that's a good question. It's 12 of them.
That resource.
It's
we
12
can
of
put it
them.
on our website, if we have any.
It doesn't matter. It should be on our website anyway.
Yeah.
SafeParkingLA.gov.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's in our footprint or not, then they can look on their own. Because I don't think there are any in ours, more or less, but I know they have 12 now.
Okay.
And so, and growing, because there's a lot of people sleeping in their cars. And I don't know what makes homelessness not interesting to you guys, and you haven't been on our call. But it would be nice if we had more people in UNC at least once on the call. I know Kareem, yeah, Kareem's been faithful too. There you are, you was hidden behind my. Yes, Kareem, tell them, periodically, but if you have complaints and concerns, why you guys don't get on the call? Laura's there every.
And Teresa.
Teresa hasn't been lately. Teresa would come to operate the equipment, which they have yet to show me yet, but I'll get it one day, but I appreciate Laura being there and operating the system, but it would like to have, we actually have the autonomy to use the equipment when we need to have our meetings, just in case something happens to someone or what have you. So I usually get there at 6:30, the meeting starts at 7, we usually end by 8:30, or a little before. Know what's going on. I mean, when you have access to attorneys and things like that on a call that specifically are addressing issues, why come later when you could ask these questions and everybody can be helping their own areas and neighborhoods and block by block, So I think that we need to be more proactive in that regard when homelessness is so rampant. And more people are losing their houses more and more. And so I think I mentioned to you guys about the 8-year-olds. You shouldn't be getting put out of your place at 80 years old. But they didn't understand the moratorium during that time and got caught up. And they lived in the marina. So I just bought over here in CD10, we got them a hotel. And then they're still in the hotel waiting on permanent supportive housing. So there's a lot of things that we can be doing. It don't have to be in our area. We need to make it our area and bring them in and help them. One of the churches gave me money to put some of the homeless that was around here in the hotel during that rain.
Yeah.
And so we was giving out the blankets.
Yes.
Remember the waterproof blankets that we had? We gave out some of those. So there's a lot that we could be doing. And I think we should be able to try to make our footprint homeless, period. Yeah, homelessness. And so, but I really want to see what you suggested about this letter in particular, what we could do with it, because I already met with Heather regarding the resource center. That should be open 24/7, or at least 4:30 to 7 in the morning, because everything shuts down at 4:30. And we've been utilizing the mayor's circle team, so to speak. I've called them out on 3 different occasions, and if it hits 5 o'clock, I'm sitting up there watching them do what I can do. Why you paying somebody 24/7 when they can only work at 5 o'clock? So, but fortunately, the winter shelters are gonna start opening, and they're supposed to have opened yesterday, starting yesterday till March. So there's no excuse for people to be on the street doing winter shelter, none. If you see somebody on the street, guide them to a winter shelter. Especially if they lay on the sidewalk.
We just need the information, that's all.
So,
Do that.
Tori,
Is there a list of winter shelters?
It's on the city website. But let me wait and see when they were supposed to start yesterday. Let me see who actually, I think they're still accepting people's applications who want to do it.
They have to fill out an application?
Not the homeless, the churches.
Oh.
Like the churches or rec center or whoever.
Okay.
Okay, oh, excuse me, Tori, because of the time and
Yeah,
because we still have to do a budget a reimbursement vote.
Oh, okay, well, before all that, Sarah,
Yes.
I have not gotten any emails from you at all, and that's probably because I added a 2 on my email.
Yeah.
Because I got so full, I had to add part 2.
Yeah,
So my email is Tori Justice Bailey 2, that's attached to the Tori at UNC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tori Justice Bailey 2 at UNC?
No, at gmail.com.
Right, so you
But
need.
the UNC, like, default.
It'll-
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so that's
And you need to
information.
re-sign up for the MailChimp because we can't do that for you. If you want to receive our e-blast, you have to re-sign up with a new email.
Oh, well, will you tell me about that tomorrow?
Okay, okay. Back to Canvas.
So I move that we reimburse Michael Kimball for delicious food in October. $176.07 total for reimbursement.
I second.
Second. No, I don't think so.
You can't second, he goes
This one?
Yeah, Grace
Sorry.
seconded.
Muriel?
Aye.
Dolores? Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Edward?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Paula? Oh, sorry. Left? Oh, sorry. Grace? Yes. Corinne? Teresa? Yes. Michael?
Yes, am I voting? Can I? Yes.
I don't know. Yes or no?
Yes.
Diane? Yes. Christopher?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, I want to ask one question. Ed, are you Ed or Edward? Because I've known you as
Either.
either. You don't get. Christopher, are you Chris or Christopher?
If we already have Chris, we'll use Christopher, otherwise, I don't care.
Okay. Is there anything else for old business? Say no, please. Then we can adjourn. Thank you.